Grand rising, grand rising, minds up, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Come on in here, come on in here. You know, I usually have some music playing, but I am not in Atlanta right now. So y'all gonna have to deal with it the way that it is. Come on in, invite a friend, invite a friend. Y'all don't want to miss this live because the special guest that I have coming up for you in just a few moments is going to really, really clear up some things for you and really help you understand some things that you might not have knew before. You know, a lot of times, very often, this is why I'm so excited to actually have her. Guys, forgive me if I'm looking away because y'all know me, I'm promoting at the same time because we live, you know what I mean? Y'all know how it goes down. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming on in. So definitely, my guest today is a lot like me, right? And it's amazing because you guys know I ride for the fellas, right? I try to get you guys to understand the fellas' point of view. I'm not a man, but you know, I do understand. I do understand. And so, you know, I wanted to I'm still trying to find us live on here. Hold on, Trey. So I wanted to bring my amazing guest to you guys today because she is an absolutely phenomenal woman. She really is. And I've known Trey for I don't know how long it's been. I've known her for a very long time. And what I can tell you about Trey, Trey is a certified life coach as well as relationship coach. Trey is the leader. You know, she's a leader whose assignment is helping others heal matters of the heart, right? And so you guys know I'm all about healing matters of the heart because we understand that, you know, people go through different things in life and we all got some kind of trauma going on within us, whether it was from our personal relationships, our relationships with other people, meaning our mates and friends and all that other wonderful stuff. So I have to tell you guys that Trey is known for her method of helping others heal through her transparency and her truth. Hey, you know what I mean? Gotta keep it real, right? And her testimony of going through the storm and infidelity on both sides, right? And not only being the offender, but also being the recipient of betrayal. It gives men and women a safe haven that they need, you know, to be transparent, to be honest with themselves, but without the judgment, right? And y'all know me, I'm the no judgment zone, right? No judgment, no judgment, right? And so what I love about Trey is that she states, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to judge you. You know, I used to be you. Yes, yes. And her motto is that, you know, we've all fallen short of the mark. And that is the honest to God truth at one point or another. And so what I know about Trey is that she feels as though, you know, she's equipped and she's ready for the assignment, you know, to really just help you guys to elevate based on her own personal life experience and how she healed herself, you know, how she developed herself by taking many different courses and coaching and having amazing mentors and things like that, which is imperative when you want to level up in your life. Is that right? That's yes. Right. And so she's ready to walk with you hand in hand on your journey of healing. And she is going to be talking to us about that today. Now, hold on. Let me just make sure that we are all good over here. And I believe oh yeah, I see y'all in here. So definitely guys, say hello. Let us know you in the building. Do me a big, 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 big favor and share. Because this is going to help a lot of people. All right. This is going to help a lot of people. So Trey, I'm going to say, you know, first of all, it's such a blessing to even, you know, have you here, you know, just rocking out with me, doing the whole changed heart, you know, movement and all that wonderful stuff. And Trey, I have to ask you, obviously I said a little bit of it in your bio, but what brought you to this point to where you actually wanted to share with others what was really going on with you?
What brought me to this point is, first of all, I have three sons who are 26, 21, and one who's going to be 12 tomorrow. And
Wow.
on my journey, yes, on my journey, along the journey, they got some bumps and bruises with me. So my journey started about 15, 16 years ago when I committed adultery. And I
Okay.
left my home with my children. And I didn't want this to happen to anybody else. So I started speaking my truth, actually, like on Periscope, which is no longer a platform.
Long, yeah. I used to do Periscope, girl.
Every morning, and I used to just share. I mean, it was nothing. And then one morning I started talking and I was like, "Good morning, welcome to Coffee with Tea." And I just started talking about my journey of how adultery had not ruined my life, but disrupted my life, because sometimes
Yes.
things are necessary disruption. Because had I not went through that, trust me, not saying I would do it again, but
Right.
had I not
I
went
get
through,
it.
I wouldn't be here to, share my story and allow people to understand that you are not your biggest mistake. You are your better choices. So I wanted to come and encourage people to understand that you can bounce back from anything. And that, like I said, we've all fallen short of the mark. I'm not here to judge you. I used to be you. A lot of a lot of women get offended because I have a movement called hashtag no side chicking, where I encourage women to honor, guard, and respect each other's relationships in hopes of ending the infidelity epidemic. Because had
I
I said
love it.
no to somebody else's husband and been able to communicate with mine, this whole thing wouldn't happen. So I'd like to encourage women I hold women accountable for their part in infidelity. And a lot of women
Don't
get,
like that. I get it.
right, they don't like it. I say, and I tell them, I remove men from the equation and hold women accountable for their part in infidelity, whether that be the wife or the side
Or
chick,
the
because
side chick.
both
Exactly.
parties are accountable for their part in infidelity. And I'm gonna make this clear before anybody inboxes me, emails me, or DMs me. I'm never saying a wife is responsible for her husband cheating. I'm never, ever, ever. Nobody is responsible if a grown man decides to put his penis in somebody else. Another person is
Right.
not responsible. That is his choice. However, when a wife is in a situation and she knows this is going on, she is accountable for the choices that she's making to remove herself from the situation, or to accept the fact that he's cheating, or what she's allowing to be portrayed in front of her children. She's accountable for her
Yes.
part in that part of the relationship, not accountable for him cheating. And the side
Yes.
is accountable for your behavior too. If you are knowingly sleeping with somebody's husband, boyfriend, or fiance,
You're
you are
dead wrong.
the home wrecker. If you are knowingly sleeping with somebody's husband, boyfriend, or fiance, you're an abuser. And I say
Yes.
that to understand that cheating is a form of abuse. And if you know you're sleeping with somebody's husband, boyfriend, or fiance, I need you to get this through your head, ladies. You are abusing another woman, whether she knows your name, your face. You are affecting her mental health. You are affecting her physical health. You are affecting
Yes.
her children's health, and it is a form of abuse.
That is very, 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 very true. And I don't feel like, people probably don't look at it like that. A lot of people don't look at it as if it's abuse, but it is abuse. And that's the blindsided part that most people are not wanting to pay attention to, right? But even more importantly, I think it's important that you guys do recognize as women, period, that the love and respect that you should have for yourself, period, period, should make you not even be interested in what somebody else already has. So I'm a left field y'all a little bit, because we need to talk about the simple fact that this usually stems from unhealed trauma of your own. This
Yes.
is usually, so I don't want to, this isn't about pointing like, oh, you a cheater, oh, because
Right.
guess what? We never know exactly what took place in your life in order for you to actually get to that point, right? But we're saying thinking forward, because there are not just STDs, sexually transmitted disease. There are STDs, meaning spiritually transmitted diseases, that are being widespread. And you guys are just, doing the most, might I add. And it's not safe. One is not safe. And truthfully, why not love yourself enough to save yourself for somebody who truly, truly loves you, and that you truly, truly love, and there's a genuine connection between the two of you. I just never been the type to just, oh, let me just go sleep with him, just to sleep with him. you know, and it always had to have some kind of meaning, you know.
Yes.
So what do you find on your journey has been the reason that most women do cheat? Like, what if their husband is a good man and he's not doing all of that and she steps outside? What do you, besides we know that it's unhealed trauma, but because this is your segment, I know you know what I know, so I want you to say it. I want you to share, you know, the traumatic experiences that might lead, you know, a woman to be that way. And this, guys, again, we're not bashing men or women in this. We're just having a mature, sexy conversation that needs to be had.
People always ask me that question. People always ask me, why did I cheat, right?
Shirley said, who came up with this subject?
Yeah, people always ask me, Trey, why did you cheat? Or Trey, why do women cheat, or why do men cheat? There is one answer to that question, and I'm gonna say this. There is one answer to that question. Every person who cheats is immature. People
Yes.
cheat because they are immature in some area of their life, whether it be immature in communication. Now, everybody has their reasons. Oh, my wife don't sleep with me no more. My husband
Right.
don't pay attention to me no more. The bills are not paid. We all have our reasons, or our excuses for cheating.
Excuses. That's what I was about to say, because that's all it is an excuse. It's either you want to do it or you don't, you know, and
Yeah.
then you decide to do it. Even if you think it and you want to, you still, your love for you should be like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Because it's consequences with that after that. After you do that, now you got to deal with feeling bad, feeling shame, feeling guilt, all of that. Like, why not just save yourself? Like, why? I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
Like I said, the reason why I cheated is because I was immature. My ex-husband is an amazing provider. My ex-husband is an amazing man. Period. He's a great guy. My
Yeah.
level. I got married when I was 21, and like I said, we're not making excuses here, but we're explaining the
Yes.
level of maturity of why people cheat. So
Yes.
I wasn't getting what I needed in a home as far as being paid attention to. In my immature state, someone was able to come in and pay attention to me and wedge their way in that crack in that door, because I
Yeah.
wasn't mature enough to express to my husband the proper way that it wasn't the Escalades and it wasn't the swimming pool, because I had it all, and it wasn't the nanny, it was the time that I wanted to spend with him. But me being in an immature state of not knowing how to communicate and being able to be tempted. When we are immature, we can be tempted,
Get
because
tempted very easily. Yeah, that's very true.
being in a monogamous relationship or in a marriage requires self-control, right? And self-control requires a level of maturity. When you are
Yeah,
not mature, you will not control yourself. So I always tell
that's
all of
true.
my family, self-control is the beginning of winning. When you can control yourself, you can win at life. So the reason why I believe any man cheats, he is a level of immaturity. I mean, he can't express what it is that he needs. And when we are immature, instead of us saying, I've tried counseling, I've tried the pastor, I've tried everything, I've done everything and nothing is working, we have to be mature enough to walk away. You get to leave.
Right.
There's never a reason for cheating, because you get to walk away. There is never a reason to be disrespectful, or a reason to ghost, or a reason to hurt people, because you get to make a conscious choice for yourself what's best for you, as long as it's in a way that is not hurting another person. You get to
Right.
make a choice to say, listen, this is not working for me. It's been real, but I
Right.
got to go. So sometimes we hold on because we're immature with fear. We're scared that, what if old girl over here ain't what old girl over here is, or what if old boy over here ain't what old boy over here is. It's a level, I call it monkey bar. You know how you get on a monkey bar
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to make sure that you're like, oh, I got to be secure. There's a level of
Right.
maturity with me now, with whoever is in my space, whether it's a friend, whether it's a man, whoever is in my space. When it's not working out for me, I'm
You
mature
gonna
enough
be
as a grown
honest.
woman to say, yeah, listen, our season is over. I'm not mad at you. You're not mad at me.
Right.
And we all get to make a choice for ourselves.
That's true. That's so true. I see you guys popping on there. So God, definitely put your comments. Let us know. Now for you, for the fellas, you guys know that this is all about men hurt too, right? Because men do hurt too, but very often they're not allowed to express the pain that they feel. They're not allowed to cry or whatever the case might be, which is BS. And I'm not going to say the BS y'all thinking. I'm going to say it's BS, meaning it is a belief system. It is a belief system that you're not allowed to cry. You're not allowed to be emotional. You're not allowed to express your feelings. You're not allowed to do this because you're a man. And I think that that's very unfair. For me, I believe that men are very often misunderstood. And I think that, ladies, if you guys just step back a little bit and maybe try to understand your mate better, or the person that you're dealing with or talking to or whatever, and you may actually see that that person is not as bad of a person as it looks if you kind of look at from where their heart may be. And that goes both ways, guys, y'all too. Think about all of the pain that she went through before she got to you. Right. So she went through all of that before she got to you. And here you come, you want to be Mr. Savior, but she's still healing, right? She still got trust issues. She still got lingering pain from something somebody did 20 years ago. And so all of that is a process and it takes time to heal because she has to first identify what happened that even has her feeling that way, right? And likewise, the same thing. The guy also has to figure out where in my life did I start to feel this issue. For example, some people don't know, like women, y'all think that y'all the only ones that have abandonment issues and confidence issues and stuff like that. Y'all not. Not. I could tell you firsthand, I had both of my brothers are gone, maybe rest in peace or whatever, but I still had brothers, cousins that taught me so much, which is why for the most part, I've never really been brokenhearted. And it's because they gave me the wisdom to make me understand them better, to help me to understand, like, this is what a man thinks. I'll never forget one time my cousin, he set up, it was this guy that I was supposed to be talking to, or he wanted me to meet, So I'm like, okay, I'll meet him, He was like, okay, you like him? So I'm like, he all right, because you know me. I don't like nobody until I get in your head and see where your brain at. So make a long story short, he invited the guy out someplace, right? And then he called me and he was like, oh, come to, in fact, it was Marlowe's, Trey. It was Marlowe's. He said, come to Marlowe's. So I'm like, man, I'm in the bed. He's like, nah, I'm telling you, I got you. I got you a few drinks, you know what I mean? So, you hear that. You're like, all right, let me go see what's up. Yeah. But so when I got in there, the guy who was actually allegedly supposed to be talking to me was sitting down having a drink with another young lady. So the point is that my cousin always wanted me to know, like, don't ever sleep on a dude. Like, don't ever think that just because it looks like a perfect picture on the outside means that, they all the way together on the inside. You get to know that man. You get to see, you know what I mean? And they taught me so much since I was young. That's why I know men can't pull a wool over my eyes. And I'm not cold-hearted. I'm just protective of myself, Right. But anyway, what I want you to share with them is, like, I don't know, what's been your experience of noticing that men do get hurt too? Men also experience pain. What's your take on that?
Well, I wrote the book Men Hurt Too, and it's dedicated to my 3 sons. And again, I said I have a 26-year-old, a 21-year-old, and
hold on, Trey. Trey, where is your name at? Why your name not at the bottom of your thing?
I don't know. I see it on my screen. I don't know why it's not.
Okay. Yeah. So look, so we have some people that were making some comments. So I'm just going to share what they said, and then I'm going to let you answer. So we have Monera says they take the anger out on women. So this is her perspective of men. When men are hurt, when men get hurt, they take their anger out on women and those close to them. And I can agree with that to a certain extent. And you can tell by the way they treat the other women around them. And that's
Right.
scary for me. Like, so if I see you cheating other women around you, like with no respect, I'm gonna feel like that's what I'm walking into, you know?
Yeah. Well,
Because,
I
but go ahead.
believe, let me just say, we as women have to take responsibility and accountability for ourselves, right? A person can
Yes,
only treat you the way that you allow them to treat you.
allow them to treat
So
you. Yeah,
you got to really stick around for a man to take out whatever he's been through on you. I've been down that road where I stayed on a roller coaster ride too long. It was blaming men. We can't blame men for our actions, and the
I
reason
agree.
is that men hurt too. Men have been through things too, and we don't look at it that way. We have to first realize, and the first thing I say in my book is men are human beings first. They have been through things, they have been through trauma, right? We see a woman yelling and screaming in the house, and we like, oh, women are just emotional. We see a man screaming in the house, and we want to say the man is abusive. Well, we can't have it both ways. Men are emotional too, right? Of course, men
Exactly.
are stronger than us, and
They
they have more
supposed to be though. They supposed to be. It's not a crime for a man to be emotional. Go
right.
ahead.
Understand that it's not a man should never put his hands on a woman, but we have to understand that men get to express themselves a certain way too, and in order for a man to take out his whatever anger out on you or whatever, you have to stick around for that. So there
That's
are a
true.
lot of men
Because you
who
can
don't,
leave. Right.
who don't have the resources that they need to heal, who don't have the support that they need to heal, who have not dealt with trial. Like there's so much, and I've interviewed over 45 men on my podcast, Men Hurt Too. And the thing that I'm learning is that men need resources to get the help that they need to heal as well. And they also need understanding and support from mainly us as Black women. And we are in a society right now where the society is turning us against our Black men when we're not even listening to the things that they've been through. For instance, like I said, I have 3 sons who went on my journey of life with me, and I call it my car of life. And every bump and every bruise and every road I went down and every dark alley and every dead end, they
It
went
was
with me. So I had to have a conversation with my oldest son, and for him to be able to, for me to say, committing adultery was not right. Because
right.
our children put their mothers on a pedestal and they don't want to make her feel bad. But I had to
Right.
literally have a conversation with my son to take my boulders off of his back and say, me committing adultery, I know it affected you a certain way. I know that it did. I know to see your mom, me in the house partying and drinking shots like a sailor and throwing back shots and having parties in the house and hanging out all night and coming home 5 o'clock in the morning. Even though they were my children, they were watching behaviors of a woman. And I would
That's
never want to think that your wife is
that
supposed
was
to be coming
okay.
5 o'clock in the,
Yes.
but
Yes.
they've been affected by things in their lives along their journey too. And we have to understand that. We have to think about the young boy that was in school. And this is the stuff that I talk about in my book. We have to think about the young boy that was in school who was bullied, who people talked about, who called, his home life wasn't good, who had the dirty clothes on. We've been through this. I'm from the hood. People called him
Right.
stinky and he ain't no good. And look at him and ha ha, look at his hair. He don't have a haircut. If
Right.
that if that boy did not deal with that, it's part of his manhood. And until he deals
Right.
with that, we wonder why men are womanizers, right? Listen, I'm gonna break it down all the way to you because I've talked to a lot of men. There are a lot of men out here who are womanizers because they were the boy in school that got turned down all the time, neglected. The girl didn't want to talk to him because she wanted
Right.
to talk to the football captain because she was trying to figure out who she was. But in his mind, he didn't get that. He just felt neglected. So now he's the man who graduated high school, who grew into himself, who has
Yeah.
the money, who goes to the gym, who's an attorney, who has a
Right.
BMW. Now he's a womanizer because he still
Right.
not dealt with the little boy inside that was rejected by the girl he wanted to take to the prom said no.
Right.
Still
Right.
pain, and until we give our men resources to dig back deep into that, you are not the boy at the prom that nobody likes anymore. You are a great looking human being. You have
Yeah.
more to offer than putting notches in your belt and your penis. So he can take away because he's not realizing why he's being a womanizer because he never
Right.
wants to be rejected again. So it's get them before they get me.
Get
The young
me. Right.
the young man whose father put so much pressure on him. We're going to make it to the NFL. You're going to be a great football player, who didn't make the cut, whose father did not like him, or whose father was so disappointed that he just was like, oh, we didn't make it to the NFL, who disconnected from him. That's a young man who turned into an older man who didn't get the love that he needed based on who he was supposed to be. His dad didn't like him because he was vicariously living through him. So we got to look at, when we're looking at our men, what are they carrying around? Why is he so aggressive on the basketball court? He can't even have a peaceful basketball game because he's still in the mentality of, I got to win, win, win.
I got to win, right.
Boys, you know, he knocking his boys over on the back. And they're like, what's wrong with you? So we have to give them this space to heal. The young man, I just want women and people in the world to get an idea of what men have been through. The young little boy whose mother gave him away to his grandmother when she was 4 years old, not knowing that his mother had drug issues or anything. Nobody ever explained it to him. He wasn't worthy of his mother loving him. So how can he really
somebody passed him over to his grandmother, right? How
can he really accept love wholeheartedly and trust a woman wholeheartedly when a woman who's supposed to love him most gave him away and nobody ever explained it to him? My mother just didn't want me. So now he can't be in a healthy relationship because his mindset too is, I gotta get them before they get me. I gotta leave. I know this ain't gonna work. It's self-sabotage. I know it's not gonna work. So he does sabotage the relationship, and we gotta think things, and those are the things that I talk about in my book. It's healing time.
A lot of comments coming in, so let's look at some real good stuff. All right, so we got conflicting conflicting comments. So some people feel like the women anyway, some of them in here are like, you know, that the men, they need to stop trying to control women. And okay, so let me go up. Let me bring the ruckus here.
Because we're not gonna play the blame game victim here with me. We're not doing that.
Yes,
I don't have relationships with men that want to be controlling. If we can't work that out, I walk away. If you're in a that's no. Let me say this to the women.
That's an internal issue with you.
Right. Let me say this to the women who are listening. Nobody can do anything to you unless you allow them to. I could sit here and say something about every man I've been through, the 3 I've been with. I could sit here and say something about all of them, or I could still be with them. I could still be in a relationship with them, knowing that they was doing dirt, knowing that they were controlled. No, you're not the person for me, so I have to remove myself and
free you at the same time, right? Free them to go through whatever they gotta go through.
I say it all the time to women. Let him go so he could grow. Because we enablers, and then we become the victim. Ain't nobody here. A victim, let me explain to women on here too what a victim is. Or anybody. A victim is a person, just say somebody jumps out of a bush on you and you don't know they're there. That's a victim. A victim is taken by surprise. You are not a victim if you are standing in a circumstance, in a situation that you know is happening. You're not a victim. Oh, he's controlling. Okay. So what you gonna do? You gonna stay with him while he's controlling you? Or are you gonna do something about it and leave? Or are you just gonna complain about it to your girls? We have to understand that we have power, authority over this. We don't have to deal with a man who needs help. You get to walk away. What they say, call man Captain Save-A-Ho. Stop being Captain Bro. You need to walk away if he's controlling, if he's not willing to get the help that he needs. Because what you're doing is you are rewarding him for his poor behavior.
Yes.
We're not victims. Yes, men have issues. Yes, men are controlling. Yes, some men are mean. Yes, some men are cheaters. But you don't have to be in that circumstance. As long as there is a wife and a side chick or a side girlfriend, as long as there are a wife and a side chick fighting over a man, his behavior is never going to change because there are no consequences to his actions. So why would he change? If the wife is fighting over here and the chick is fighting over, both of y'all need to leave him alone because he ain't ready.
He not ready to commit, and he gonna keep playing the game because he's actually enjoying watching y'all fight. he's enjoying the entertainment.
You know what?
Unless you're the main chick and you might have access to his assets, then he definitely gonna kick the side chick to the curb.
You know something? No, men want discipline. Men need help with this. But as long as we continue to sit over here as the wife and say, he got his ass and he this, and over here as the side chick.
And what about this one? All men cheat. No, all men do not cheat.
That? No,
that's a lie.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Immature men cheat.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's immature men cheat. Absolutely.
If a man is disrespecting you, and my stepfather,
immature women cheat. You know, same thing.
If a man is disrespectful to you, my stepfather taught me this. God rest his soul. He's been dead for 27 years today. He said, if a man disrespects you, it's because he has no respect for himself. That is an internal problem. So you got to walk away. These are things that he just taught me. He said, if a man disrespects a woman, he really is disrespecting himself, and it's an internal problem. So we got to realize these things, that women, we going to stop blaming men.
Right.
Point blank. If you don't like the situation, stand up on your 2 feet and walk away. And I get it, because this is what I teach. I teach women. I am an infidelity coach. I help women heal through the devastation of infidelity. And a lot of women have fear when they're in these marriages that I'm not going to have enough money. I'm not going to have this.
Or I'm not going to find nobody else. Nobody not going to want me with 10,000 kids and all of that other stuff.
Listen, what's for you is for you, but you have to be willing to stand up for yourself and say, listen, I know we married, but I didn't sign up for this. And this is why men are really not doing what they need to do. And we talked about this a little bit on the champagne room with Tanya.
Yeah.
Men are not doing what how do we expect men to respect us as women when we don't respect each other?
Right. Ooh. Slap, pat, 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 pat. Let me get you some. Yes. We're going to get through some more of these comments because, hold on. So we got Munira says that men are very insensitive to women's needs. She says they need to stop trying to control women, be supportive of a woman's status. She says they need to learn how to deal with their emotions. Okay, I can agree with you on that part, Munira. They do need to learn how to deal with their emotions, but that does not make women exempt that y'all don't need to deal with y'all emotions too. I can deal with my emotions, right? Now, sometimes how I deal with my emotions is I'll get quiet and I'll process what's happening rather than me trying to say like, oh no, that's not what I meant. That's not, I'm not gonna go through that. I'm just going to receive what's being said and allow myself to process that and make a conscious decision to still hold my peace, but acknowledge what's happening, So
can I piggyback on that comment though?
Yeah, go ahead.
How to deal with their emotions. So let's take this back to the mothers, right? Because let's take this back to the moms. Let's take this back. Why men don't deal with their emotions? Because instead of us looking at the problem, let's find out, dig up the root.
We got Dr. Love Jones is in here too, so he got some amazing things to say. He has the radio show and all of that. So we're gonna get to that, but just stay with us, guys. I'm gonna get to all y'all comments and questions. All right, just stay with us. I got y'all. Just share it. Let me get
to the problem of men dealing with their emotions.
Okay, let me get back to that comment.
500 years, men have been taught not to deal with their emotions. Okay,
exactly.
In the home. Let's go back to the mothers, because if we're talking about Black men, a large percentage, I'm not going to say most, a large percentage of Black men were raised by single Black females. So they have been taught not to emote. They have been taught not to express themselves. They have been taught to go through life. Don't cry. Don't complain. Provide and protect. Be quiet. You're okay. And now we're saying men need to learn how to deal with their emotions. Well, that started when when grown men was little boys, and mothers in society said to them, and we can go back to slavery days when we were just animals and they were throwing us in the ring to box until one of us killed the other.
Talk about it.
We've been taught we have taught men, don't deal with your emotions. So we got to get them in a space when you are dealing with a man, Manera, I think I'm pronouncing it right. When you are dealing with the man, you have to have conversations with him about his emotions to see where he is emotionally. And if he is in a space emotionally safe for you, again, I'm telling my ladies, if he is not in a safe, emotionally safe for you, you need to leave him alone. You get to tell a man that you're in a relationship with who does not know how to communicate, who is yelling and screaming, who cannot control his energy, to say, listen, I love you and I want to be with you, but you need to get some help. And if this person is refusing to get help, then you have to remove yourself from the equation so he can go somewhere and deal with his emotions. Because as long as we're sticking around and not requiring the people, any person in our space, to get the help that they need, the behavior is going to continue. If the people around me don't change, I change the people around me. If the people around me do not change,
I change the people around. Period. Yes, enough said on that. Okay, so let's see. Let's go through some more. I want to try to get to all of y'all comments. All right. So let's see. Whenever said it, where we at? They need to stop trying to control women. Be important. Okay, she says we are all humans. Rain says men are emotional, but they hide their feelings.
Right.
Munira says again, we all have emotions. So then men have too much pride to share their pain and emotions to women. So Javon, Dr. Love Jones says there is a space that needs to be created in relationships for men to express their emotions without judgment. And I agree. I totally agree with him because there's not really a space for them to do that. I know in my relationship, I do my best to hear, even if I'm not heard, I would do my best to still hear my mate and try not to be judgmental and just try to understand where he's coming from. Sometimes he may not make that easy for me because he could be a little combative, but then that's me. I can easily identify when it's, the little boy, as we said, that didn't get to express himself, right? But then I have to share with him that when I don't get to express myself, that's the little girl in me that doesn't get to express herself. So both of us can't be in a space of we can't express ourselves, or the relationship is not going to grow anywhere. Forget it going. Forget how long it's been. The relationship has to have space to grow. And if we don't have that understanding that, we both grew up differently. I handle things differently. You handle things differently. And that's okay. But if we can't work it out with that, we both need to be okay with saying we love each other to death. But, I'm just not the person that's a fit for what you're really wanting, or vice versa. You're just not a fit for what I'm really wanting, right? So it's something that if you can communicate in the relationship, then it's a possibility for it to work. But if there's no understanding and it's just one person just want to do all of the this, I can't tolerate that kind of stuff. That type of stuff for me is just like, yeah.
But you're not supposed to. That's when this is where we have to learn when it's time to get off the roller coaster. So many of us, we stay in relationships because of what we want, because we don't want to be alone. If there is a communication problem that cannot be resolved, you have to be smart enough to say, I love this person to death, but this is not the person for me. Because if a person really wants to be with you and help is offered, if you sit down with your mate and you have a conversation about, okay, the yelling or the silent treatment or whatever it is that it looks like, we need to get help. We need a mediator. We need to bring in a couples coach, because a lot of times men don't like the word therapist, but they're used to coaches because they do little things. So sometimes you got to offer a couples coach, or we need to get a therapist in here so that we can hear each other. Now you can't make anybody do anything, and this is what I encourage everyone to do. When you are in a relationship, and most of the time they're toxic, if we're talking about these things, if you are in a toxic marriage, let's just talk about marriage for 1 second. If another person does not want to get help, I encourage you to go get the help for yourself. To make a decision to get yourself out of that situation. Because so many times we say, oh, well, he don't want to get therapy, or well, she don't want to get therapy. You got to go.
We can't be together then. Because then it's gonna be emotional, as emotional as you think it is for him, it's gonna be terrible for you, because now you're going to start looking for things that you did wrong. Well, maybe if I did this right, this would be that. Or how about you guys are just not a match, and maybe you didn't do anything wrong. Maybe in his eyes he saw it as wrong, or in her eyes she saw it as wrong, but in your eyes you thought it was the perfect thing to do, but in his eyes he's like, what the hell are you doing? So that communication part is very important, and really like sitting back and trying to understand your partner from their mind, instead of letting it always be from your mind. Because then if you can understand me, then you can understand why I go quiet, because I hate arguing. I don't like debating. I can't stand any of that. So I'd rather just allow you to drain your energy and scream and kick and all of that other stuff. And then I could tell you, thank you for sharing, and I heard you.
Right.
I'm not going to come back. Nobody's going to hear each other. Everybody's just going to be talking, trying to get a word in. And the only person you hear is yourself talking, because the other person don't hear nothing you saying, And so I think that's important. So Javon, why don't you start this space then? There's a space there is an open space that is needed for men to be able to express themselves with other fellas too.
There are platforms.
Yeah.
And we just have to share the resources that are starting to pop up now. We really have to start to share the resources that are popping up now, because I've like I said, I've interviewed 45 men on my podcast, Men Hurt Too. Please, it's an eye-opening podcast. It's 45 Black men who shared their journey of healing, who shared their trauma, there were men on there that have been molested. There were men on there.
You'll be surprised.
Yeah, there were men on every different kind of issue that you could ever think about. But and at the end of each of them, they like, thank you so much. This felt so good. I never shared that before, because I wasn't on attacking them. I was actually like, please, I'm just on here to listen and glean what it feels like to be a Black man. What have you been? How do you deal with those traumas? Why do you shut down? We have to give them a safe space to share we have to give them a safe space to share their truth. My truth is my truth. Takiyah's truth is her truth. His truth. We cannot, every time men come in an arena with a bunch of women and they say something, we go into attack mode. You can't tell somebody what their truth is. You can't tell another person what their perception is. This is why we have to help communicating. So two people sit down and have a conversation and can get two totally different understandings of the conversation.
I totally agree.
Right?
I'm going through that where have you ever gone through it?
Ask the person, did you hear what I said? Like, what did you think from that?
I was just about to say that. Oh my God. You just took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah. And even more so, you saying something, but you meant it a whole nother way, but when it comes back to you from the other person, they took it a whole nother way, and you wondering like, well, what the hell is he mad for, or what is she mad for? I was just saying, good. And then it just goes into this, and that's when I'd be like, okay, I can't. I'm not.
Right.
I'm not.
And talking to a person too, timing is everything when you talk to somebody. You can't talk to your sister or your husband who just found out they lost their job, and then they come in the house and you want to talk about something, because that person is already in defense mode because their day has been whack. Like yesterday, I took my son to the eye doctor. He's on the autism spectrum, and it was a whole fiasco. Yesterday was not a good day to talk to me because I really didn't give a damn about anything yesterday.
Right, I got you.
Timing is everything. Talking to me yesterday was like talking to somebody who had just checked out for the rest of the day. So we got to be mindful of people's energy. People, you have to ask a person, listen, do you feel like talking? And I'm not talking about a person saying, no. We can say, we need to set up a time to talk. We really need to set up to talk about the house finances. But when your man and his boss has ripped him a new butthole all day, and you come talking about, I need you said that and we need, no, he's not hearing that. He just like, yo, I just stayed at this job with this other
5 extra hours to put for extra money. Yes.
This other grown man degrading me to make sure I could pay the mortgage, and I'm coming home and you're talking about the garbage that I didn't take out last night. This man just reamed me in front of the whole company, just talked to me.
Embarrass me, talk me down, right?
And now I gotta come home and you talking to me like this. No, this is not. We have to be mindful of timing.
Yes, that brings us to the next comment that Javon left and says that many men, they want to share their emotions, but they're afraid of being emasculated for having those emotions.
Well, we men have to really like, and this is a thing that a man has to understand. You can, when you're around women who are emasculating you, because a lot of men got emasculated by their mothers because we didn't know.
Yeah.
But you're a grown man now, you get to remove yourself as well. Like I said to the women, if a man is controlling, if a man feels emasculated by a woman, then he needs to know that that's not the woman for him. He needs to also remove himself from those circumstances and situations, and to be able to express himself to say, that's right. A lot of women don't even know, and Dr. Javon is his name, Dr. Jones. Yeah. A lot of women don't know. A lot of women don't even know that they're emasculating men, because Black women have been Black women have been raised in environments where emasculate
mothers put their
emasculation is normal. A lot of us Black people have been raised in environments where dysfunction is. We just don't know. So as a brother, you get to say, let me explain to you what you're doing to me, right? And if she don't get it, then you need to move away from that person. Like I'm saying, we all have a right to say, okay, this woman is emasculating me. This woman is talking down to me. This woman is tearing up my manhood. She's talking to me. You need to say, okay, it's been done 1 or 2 times. This is not the relationship for me. So we all have a choice in this.
That's very true. Because I know there's several times for myself that I could easily put a man down, like with certain things, but it's not even in me to do that. Like, and you could say whatever to me, but you won't find me just trying to say things just to make you feel bad, just because you said something to make you feel bad. I'm going to be the type to say, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to your perspective.
Listen, Takiyah, we talking about levels of maturity that some people have not.
They not experienced. Yes.
Remember, like you said, those are the people that don't belong in your space. When the people around me don't change, everybody repeat after me. I got this from John Blass.
Put it in the comments. Drop it in the comments below.
Okay, when the people around me don't change, I change the people around me. I love everybody. And people say, there's a lot of people that walk around, I don't trust nobody. No, you don't trust the chooser. You don't trust yourself.
No, that's a fact.
I trust everybody until they give me a trust. And then you're not in my space anymore. So we really have to, this whole conversation in a nutshell is about accountability. It's totally about accountability of oneself. It's totally about accountability of what we accept from people, what we allow people to do with us, because nobody can do anything to Trey that I don't allow. I am a compassionate person. I'm an empathetic person. I love everybody, but I'm not going to let you do that to me anymore. And for years, and I know a lot of people out here right now that are listening, for years I was a people pleaser. So I know there's a lot of people pleasers out there. You don't want to lose people. People who value you won't risk losing you. And we all make mistakes. I'm not saying nobody's perfect. Like, we ain't gonna have no arguments and all.
Right.
However, most of a relationship is supposed to be pleasant. Like I said, we're gonna have bumps in the road.
Right.
But when the majority of your relationship is trash, it ain't a relationship for you. And people are like, I'm in a toxic relationship. Let me lean in. Y'all lean in close. Come on, everybody lean into the screen close. Lean in close. Let me make sure y'all
come on in.
Lean in close.
Get closer.
A little closer. For those of you who are saying you're in a toxic relationship, then you're toxic. It takes 2 people to be in a toxic relationship, because a healthy person leaves.
Oh, repeat that. Repeat it again. What happens? A healthy person does what?
A healthy person leaves. A healthy person walks away. I'm sorry. And this is not about throwing people away or cutting people off. I don't cut people off in my life right now, Takiyah. I simply let them go. You're willing to get the help that you need to not be toxic, because somebody said hurt people, heal people, heal people. If Heal.
That's my word right there. I always say heal people, hurt people might hurt people, but heal people. And I feel like, you know what, even like for myself, I help to heal so many other people that it's literally just natural to me. So I feel like I can't not be 100% honest and real with myself, and then I call myself be telling them what to do or telling them to be honest and telling them, but then I'm not practicing the same thing. So sometimes I have to step back and do a self-reflection of what's going on in me too. Like, okay, where's this going? You know,
This is my
what is,
motto.
you know?
Practice what you preach and live what you teach. Practice what you preach and live what you teach.
Put that in the comments, y'all. I like that.
What you teach. I can't go around teaching people. They call me a healing agent. I can't go around teaching people how to heal if I'm all broken up on the inside. I can't tell people like you toxic, you in a toxic relationship, then you toxic. Listen, I'm not. I don't
do that.
toxicity.
Everybody gotta realize that they even toxic. Half the people don't even like we said earlier. It's a normal behavior. It's what they're used to. Like even sometimes when you see women who talk back to their parents, or even men who talk back to their parents, it was like that might have been okay,
right?
That right. Now for you didn't go like me. I didn't grow up like that. So when I see that type of stuff, that's abnormal to me.
Right.
But for somebody else, that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
If you're angry, you curse, you do this, you say that, and
no,
I don't know that life like that. not that deep. I don't.
Right. So many of us grew up in dysfunction. So many of us grew up in dysfunction. That dysfunction to a lot of people is normal. Until you get around other people, until you change your environment. Okay, listen, like I said, I'm from the hood. I'm not in the hood anymore. So I've seen different behaviors. Not that they're better than us or anything, but when you're in the same environment, you cannot grow in the same environment. A plant cannot grow in a pot if the roots outgrow the pot. You have to change the environment of the plant. If a plant is dying, you have to look around. I'm a plant person, as y'all see. If a plant is dying, you have to look around the environment of the plant. Is the pot too small? Is there not enough sunlight? Is there not enough water? Is the room too moist? You have to look at the environment that is killing the plant. It's the same thing for us. We have to be aware of our environment, understanding that if you're still in the same place you were your whole entire life, you're not growing. If you haven't been out of your city, and I'm not saying you have to go out of your city, or if you haven't exposed yourself to different elements of people, different races, different social classes, you are not growing. You're not seeing anything new to help you evolve and change into something better, because there's always better. I don't care if you live in a 50-bedroom mansion, there's always something better.
Yes, that's true. So I'm gonna read some more, and then we'll answer some more questions because people are asking some things. All right, so let me go back up. Whoa, y'all, they going in here. Okay, hold on, y'all. I'm catching up. I got y'all. All right, so okay, so all right, so Javon says that emasculation is a real thing, and emasculation creates infemination. Nice. All right, so Munira says we all have to be sensitive to each other. Javon says she's talking pure facts. Talk about you. Then we have to stop making excuses for their actions. Right. Okay. Right. Well, that's Munira saying that we have to stop making excuses for
their actions. No, we're not making excuses for anybody's actions. We're holding everybody accountable for themselves. I'm not making excuses.
Take yourself out of it. If you take yourself out of it and just hold yourself accountable for your part. Where wasn't I being loving yet? Because sometimes you might not even recognize where you could be the trigger. Everybody got certain things that trigger them. So you could be the trigger for that person. Certain things that you might say or do. Sometimes if I trigger, my way, I'll be like, I'm sorry. I didn't even really think about that would affect you in that way, because what I'm saying, like the way that I grew up, I didn't grow up with the certain things. So like I might say something to me, it might be funny as hell, but to him, he feels completely offended. Like,
Right.
And so, you know,
Once
it's
we stop
understanding.
doing this, once we stop doing this, every
Yep.
conversation that you have with a person, you should not come to a person and say you. You should come to a person and say, I feel like this is
Yes.
this makes me feel. Anytime you go to a person and say you make me feel, nobody has the power to make you feel any kind of way but you.
Right.
Anytime we point your fingers and say we have to stop, or you, is
Right.
I am accountable for me. If somebody does something to me, I come to them and say, this is the way that made me
You
feel. You didn't
feel
make me feel no kind of way, but that's the way it made. This was my perception of this.
of
Whenever
it. Right.
conversation saying, Takiyah, you gonna immediately be on the defense. Like Trey, you coming at
Right.
that like
Right. Why you pointing at me? Instead of even asking, like, well, I know me, I'm quick to ask, like, well, why do you feel like that? Why do you think that way? Why are you thinking that way?
right,
That way I can have an understanding that, okay, well, maybe when I do this might remind him of something that happened in an old relationship. And so because that never happened to me, I might just take it literally as nothing. But
right,
it could have really brought up something in him that triggered him in a whole nother way. So we got to learn how to be open and be compassionate. But your mate also has to be open and compassionate to understanding your feelings too. Because if you screaming all over the place, and in my mind I'm like, I ain't do nothing wrong, and you acting like a fool. In my perspective, I feel like you're acting like a nut, because to me it wasn't that serious. But if you
right,
can communicate and say, you know what, babe, if that's the way I made you feel, I apologize. I'm sorry. That was not my intention
and
for
right.
you to feel that way. And we can grow from there. But if I can't do that, and then you still want to be like, yeah, but then you know what? There's no we. Like, there's no, like, I don't have the space, time, or energy to waste on arguing with you over something when I already brought clarity to it.
Right. We just have to be aware of we are in control of ourselves, and there is nothing that you can do to change a person if they do not want. We're so busy trying to point outward instead of looking inward,
Word, right,
trying to change another person if they do not want to change. Man, woman, or I'm not going to say child because we are to God and direct.
right. But I get you.
You cannot change a grown man or a grown woman if they do not want to
Want to
change.
change,
We have to
right?
understand that as long as we are pointing the finger that way, nothing is going to change this way. I
Absolutely.
me, I change my environment. I change the people around me. I have
Yes.
authority over this, and that's it. And we so busy looking around like, look at what she doing, or look at what he doing, and why won't they do this? Why are you staying
Yes.
with a person? Why are you staying with a person? Let me just ask a question here. If this is your scenario, we busy talking about men cheat, men do this. Why are you staying with a person that's cheating on you?
Right.
You.
Right. What's going on in you that you feel that less of yourself that
Why?
you need to accept being cheated on? I'm not accepting nothing. Let me tell you something. If you can't be faithful, then be single. And period. Like, I'm not accepting you that even if you got Roman eyes, then you keep them things Roman. You
Right.
feel? But but if your eyes is for me, I know your eyes is for me. But if I see you all over the internet with a bunch of different women and stuff like that, and it could be very pleasant to the guy, it could be innocent. You feel what I mean? But if you're supposed to be the one for me, I don't need to see that. That's not something that I should be saying you know.
And that's a boundary of yours. And that's a boundary. And you get to respect. And the only person that has to respect your boundary is you. If
It's
that's too
me.
much for you, you're not the man for me. That might
For
not be
me.
for the other.
Exactly.
But if it's too much
Exactly.
for me, I get to walk away. Men a
Yes.
lot, but men are also lazy and put a lot of stress on the woman. See, that's the
It's
pointing
BS.
out.
All belief systems. You see these BSs?
That's the
It's,
pointing out. That's the
it's men
pointing
carry
out.
a lot. Men carry a lot, but men are also, because not all men are lazy. Some men work their ass off to provide for their families, and not just talking about kids that they had. I'm talking about some men out here taking care of their mother, their grandmother, the girlfriend's kids, and all kinds of stuff, right? So can we ease up, on them a little
They're
bit?
lazy men. there are some lazy men, but you don't have to be with or around
With
lazy
a
men.
lazy man, right? You
A
be
man
with one who's
listen,
got something.
the Bible says a man that don't work don't eat. So y'all stop feeding men that don't work. You don't want y'all got, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody because I don't know your situation. But if you in the house with a man that's lazy, he shouldn't be eating. If he's sitting home playing video games and he's sitting home not doing that, you're not sitting in my house like that. Like you ain't gonna be
Right,
lazy here with me. If I'm busting
right,
hell, you ain't gonna be. I don't allow. I wouldn't even allow that. So you have
right,
to understand that if you are around a lazy man and they putting too much pressure on you, you're around the wrong man for you. If that's not what
right. Because
you got,
guess what? Some women may want a lazy man that don't do nothing. Some women have a mentality that they just want to take care of their man. And if that's the life for you, that's not the life for me. But I'm
right,
saying some people they're okay with that. Like just like some people are okay with the whole polygamy thing. Polygamy
right,
is not for me. It's not for me. So don't come to me with can I be one of your wives? No, I can't be nothing except Takiyah Diamond and who she was born to be. That's what I can be. That's
but
it.
like
You
we
know?
said, it is all about choices. It is all about what you require. It is all about who you are and what you need. But we do have to understand, like we as women, we do a lot of blaming and a lot of finger pointing. We do a lot of, he or him or her or this. Everything starts with a choice. Everything is on you. Nobody can do anything to you unless you allow them to. If a man, and I'm not, and for some domestic violence situations, I talked to one of my friends who is a domestic violence counselor. There are some situations that are dangerous, but there's help out there for you too. And we need you to understand when we are in circumstances and situations, whether it be physical, mental, emotional abuse, you can get out of there. And I'm not telling anybody that's listening right now that is in an abusive, physically abusive relationship to leave right now. There are steps to take that are safe for you. But we all have a choice. And I know there are some serious fears, but we all have to understand that we have a choice. And you can't change a person. Somebody said we have to teach them how to love us. We have to teach
Right.
them how to love us. If you love yourself, the people around you gonna know how to love you. I love me, so people know don't do certain stuff because you won't be in my space anymore. You don't get to disturb my peace and think you're gonna be in my space. But that came with growth and work on myself. That came
Right.
with me having a coach. That came with me having self-awareness. That came with me not being a people pleaser. That came with me loving myself to love myself to walk away from a table that is no longer serving respect, dignity,
Yeah.
monogamy, the things that I need. Now, if you are at those tables, then you are part of the problem. If you are in
Yes.
a toxic relationship, you are toxic. It takes two people to be in a toxic relationship again because a healthy person is going to walk away.
I agree. I agree. So we have a message from Elegant Champagne says, quick note, it's not always about getting or getting another, but it's about becoming the man or woman you want them to be and see them in that as the garden continues to be nurtured through that spectrum. Pray, I think he meant prayer truly works, seeing through energetic views versus the world's view. That was excellent.
Yes, prayer works, but sometimes prayer is telling you to walk away too. You got to know what your boundaries are. I have non-negotiables. Let me say this in a relationship with people. I have non-negotiables with people. Am I in relationship with a man? I'm gonna tell you my three non-negotiables, and I don't play around with my non-negotiables. You are not going to put your hands on me. You put your hands on me, we're over. There's no negotiating. You cannot be addicted to anything because that's a trigger for me because I had a lot of addiction in my family. I'm not willing to go that route with you. So if you know
Yes.
anything, that's a non-negotiable for me, and that's my choice. And you
Yes.
cannot cheat on me. Those are my three non-negotiables in the relationship. Prayer is not going to change that because God did not put me here to be a doormat. We hide behind the church a lot, or we hide behind the word a lot. Like it's a lot of women that I've worked with whose husbands have left them and they have stayed in a marriage simply because of God, right? And I'm saying to you, sometimes God is showing you things to say, if you are a Christian, you have to know the
Right.
word. You have to know that God said, I came that you would have life and life to the full.
Right. And
Right?
if it's a threat, your life is a threat being with that person.
If it's an abundant life, that is not God's word. It has to line up with the word. And I know that sometimes I was in a relationship, I committed adultery. I know sometimes I know couples that I've worked with that have gone through infidelity and adultery who are still together, who worked through it, but they were found, they were both understood that this is the word, and I know I did something wrong and I'm remorseful. We cannot hide behind the Bible when a person is a serial cheater and you staying and you, because Jesus said, and Jesus is like, I didn't even pick that person for you. I didn't even,
you picked that person.
You picked that person off the tree before it was even right. Like you picked the unripe peach that's too hard to bite into. I didn't pick that person for you, or you picked that rotten fruit off the ground that was already rotten. Don't blame that on me. Don't be saying you stand in the name of Jesus, because that ain't true. So we really do, because we could really hide behind Jesus. We got to pray and understand that when a person, you have to have your non-negotiables from the beginning of a relationship. These are the things that I just can't tolerate. We're not talking about you leaving the seat up on the toilet, or we're not talking about, you left, the man out, or you like the ketchup in the refrigerator and I like the ketchup in the. Those are not the things we talk about. We're talking about things that will mentally affect my mental health. You cannot cheat on me. You cannot be doing. You cannot be an addict, and you cannot be. You can't be beating on me. These are the things. Real non-negotiables, and those they are there to protect your boundaries, your sanity. Okay, so we got to understand these things. And I know praying, because I'm a praying chick, but I pray, Lord, if this fool ain't supposed to be in my life, I'm gonna need you to show me. I'm gonna need you to show me. So the sign ain't, an anvil ain't gotta fall on my head. I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You got other women. Oh, we done.
And Champagne wanted to share with you that it was just a general statement. It wasn't connected to,
No, I know.
But I'm glad that you shared what you shared, because you are 100% correct. And there's a lot of people probably on this live that don't want to address that part, that just leave it all up to Jesus. Well, Jesus want me with him, and we said I do, but I do is about to kill you. So you stand because you said I do, and then it's not under the laws of God. And like, look, I just, saying
I do under the law of God. You don't even know God. You don't even know the word. So you ain't really, he ain't choose him for you. Some of y'all. And to the brother that said he wasn't saying, I know you wasn't saying it toward me. I'm a passionate person. I'm never attacking anybody. I just address certain things, underlying things. That was a beautiful statement that he put. But some folks need to know, some people need to know that you do need to fight for your marriage. There are people who commit adultery, or there are people who do things that are really remorseful, who really truly made a mistake. Like, it's real talk. But there's some people that just don't give a damn. There's some people that are using your Christianity against you, like, oh, she just gonna forgive me again. I done slept with 99, the chick ain't one, and you still with him because he know, oh yeah, as soon as I go out, she gonna do it again. Cheating is a form of abuse. If a person is a serial cheater and constantly cheating on you, they might as well. That's just like them punching you in your face over and over again.
That's one thing I'm not tolerating. If you, like I said, if you can't be faithful, then be single. I'm good with being single. I don't have to be in a relationship because I love me, but I'm grateful to be obviously in a relationship that brings me love, that brings me healing, that brings me happiness. But I don't have to be in a relationship just to say I'm in a relationship. To me, I think that that's corny.
But that's the part right there. I'm single right now. You know why I'm single right now? Because I'm whole by myself. And you know what you're not gonna do is them things. Because years and years ago, I probably wouldn't be single.
Would have, right.
I need somebody to make me whole. I am whole by myself. I came into this world by myself. Takiyah, I'm gonna leave by myself. My desire is to be married, and one day I'm sure God will send me my husband, and he will be loyal, and he will be faithful, and he will He will treat me with love, respect, and dignity, and I will do the same for him. And we will sit and we will listen to R&B music, and we will not be running the streets. That's not who I am anymore. I have evolved
Yes.
51-year-old woman where those things don't excite me anymore. Been there, done that, got a t-shirt in the house.
Right.
Every
Right.
bar, danced on some. Okay, been to every bar, danced on some. Been in
Yes.
places I had no business being in, but I value who I am now as a grown woman, and those things
Yes.
don't excite me anymore. I don't need to be pissy drunk, and I don't need to be
Right.
easy
Right.
bars. And
It's
trust me,
not fun. I hear something really about that being
and I'll be honest. Listen, trust me. When the world was open, I do go to, some hood bars that one of my friends is a bartender, and I go sit there and I chill because that's where I'm from.
That's where you
But
from,
I don't
right?
need that in my life.
Me either. Me either. If I feel like I want to have some wine, I stay in my house. I don't watch TV, so I'm not really, and I don't watch movies because I fall asleep no matter, even if I'm in the movie, I fall asleep. It don't matter if I could be the leading actress. By the half of that movie, I'll be like, it don't matter. I don't know. That's my brain is just shut down when I watch that type of stuff. But I'm trying to get to all of y'all comments. I'm so sorry. Okay, look, let me just read some more and then we'll go back in. Okay, so we got all right, so we got exactly. Rain says yes, Trey. Elegant says, oh, we addressed that already. Hey, Dominique. Dominique, good afternoon. Rain says exactly. Rain says thank you. Oh, now Rain had a question. Her question was, she stated that her brother was abusive, and so how does she deal with that? How does she deal with her brother being abusive? Rain, what is your brother abusive to you? Go a little bit deeper for us in that.
Well, an abusive person, period, to anybody needs help, but you can't make a person need help. And there's this thing, right? There's this thing called tough love, right? And sometimes we have to separate ourselves, even from our loved ones, for our own safety. And I mean, even if he's not abusive to you, if he's abusive to other women, we have to separate ourselves from them and give them tough love, because when we don't address things, we are condoning it. Like if you have a son who brings his wife over, who brings a girl over, and he has a wife, and you say, I'm just minding my business, I just want my son to be happy. You're just as abusive as your son. You know what I'm saying? So we have to hold the people who are closest to us accountable, whether her brother is abusive to his wife or women, or whether her brother is abusive to her. If he's an abusive person, you have the right to separate yourself from him. I'll see you at the family function, but you can't be in my space because your energy triggers me. You know what I'm saying? We have to understand that we have a right to say uncle, cousin, brother, mother, father. We have a right to protect our mental health, and we have a right to protect our safety and our health, period. So even if it's people that we love dearly who are really in our family, we have to sometimes separate them for a season. And then when everybody is on one accord in the family to separate this person for a season, sometimes that'll trigger a person to get help. But if nobody's saying nothing, you're just as toxic as the person who is cursing everybody out at the cookout. It ain't fun.
True. That's true. Javon says, yes, or get somebody who won't judge you or your emotions. That's true. You do. You find somebody, instead of just settling for the relationship that you're in, you find somebody who won't judge you, who won't judge your emotions. So you don't have to stay. And a lot of times most people stay because they've been together for a long time and don't nobody want to start over. But the truth is that it doesn't get better. It gets worse. And so you're just going to live your whole life like that. Like, that's just over the top for me. Javon says, a lot of men aren't aware that they're being emasculated because they're being taught broken ideas of manhood. Yes. He says, I agree that we need to remove ourselves from those environments. Then Mary says, exactly, accountability. Javon says, easier said than done. That's when Rain says, my brother is very controlling. How do I handle that? But I think you addressed that already.
You have to remove yourself from that equation. And again, accountability here is key. Everybody is accountable for their own actions. That's all. You just have to be accountable for you, and things will be so much better in your life. And as long as we keep blaming people, then
Nothing's
nothing's
gonna
going to change for
anyway.
you.
Yeah, that's just what it's gonna be. All right, so here we go. We got a few more. Okay, so Elliot says, must think as one man, the head, and the woman, the neck, equals still the head.
Teamwork make the dream work.
Yes, 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 yes.
Two healthy people are can change the world. Two healthy people, but all of us should be healthy before we even get into a relationship with anybody. Every
Right.
person on this planet needed work from their childhood, and if we're not mindful of that, then it's never going to work. I had to do work on me. Like people were like talking about my ex, like, oh my God, he did this and he was just fine. I said, I did just as much damage to him as he did to me.
It's to me, right. And can you at least take responsibility? I'm telling y'all ladies be killing me. Y'all trying to just act like y'all just so innocent, so goody two shoes about everything. Can you say that, you know what? Yes, I dated a married man, but I got out of that because I didn't like the way it felt.
Right.
I was in that because that's what I saw my mother do. And so I thought like, okay, well, I guess
Right.
it's okay. And then when you come to terms with your true self, you realize that that's not what you want at all, even though that's what you saw. So it's about learning from other people's experiences so you don't have to experience that for yourself.
Let me just say this too, and then I have to go because I have to go pick my son up.
Yeah, me too. I gotta go.
Let me say this. Let me say, after a certain age,
we'll come back, guys, and do it. We'll come back and do another one. Maybe me and Trey will pick a day throughout the week, and we'll come and do Changed Heart Talk with you guys for about a half hour to an hour on a particular day, like every other week or something. But we gotta look at our schedules because we both have very busy schedules. But I think
this last thing, after a certain age, there's no more blaming your parents. After a certain age, there's no more blaming anybody. After a certain age, we are all accountable for I could be crying. My mom was an alcoholic and a drug addict. That was her life. That was her journey. That was from the things that she experienced. I cannot sit here and say my life is screwed up because my mother was an alcoholic and a drug addict.
That's another BS.
My life at this point, for everybody that's listening right now that is older than 21 years old, I'm gonna say 21. You are where you are based on your choices. You hear me? You are where you are right now based on your choices. If you don't like where you are in life, you make better choices. It ain't your mama, it ain't your daddy, it ain't nothing. If you have dealt with some trauma, make a choice to go get you a therapist. If you have dealt with something, go make a choice to get a coach. You are where you are right now. If you are an adult based on your choices, the choice that you made this morning. If you chose not to get up this morning and find a job, then you need to be hungry. No, nobody owe you from your family. No, nobody owe you nothing. If you are with, my mother taught me that a long time ago, Tracy, and that's my government. Don't nobody owe you nothing, not even an apology. So get over yourself. You are where you are based on your choices.
All right. So Elegant says, abuse and cheating are not the same thing. To abuse is to misuse something. You can't misuse adultery because there's nothing to misuse with cheating. So, wait, no such thing as healthy adultery.
No, there is no such thing as healthy adultery. No, there's not.
I agree. So Rain says that her brother is controlling towards her and that he gets upset when she ignores the negative energy.
Okay, well, you are in control of your space, Rain. You are in control. How controlling is he? Is he abusive? And we'll talk about this another time. But is he putting his hands on you? Are you scared of him? You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want you to do anything to make him pop off or do something to you. Because abuse is. So if you're afraid, please don't go and tell him, get out of my face, leave me. We don't want anything to happen to you. The number one thing is everybody's safety.
Common sense, you know.
Right. Everything is safety. And if you're afraid of him, then you need to get some help.
Right. Definitely. So guys, listen, I know you guys would love to stay and we would love to stay with you guys, but listen, I have other clients that I got to attend to and, some other things I got to do. Okay. However, we will come back and do our Changed Heart sessions with you guys again. And you guys can also, I want you guys to join Trey Scoop. She also has an amazing podcast that she does. Her series Men Hurt Too is popping right now. So listen, if you're in an emotional trauma, and you want to work on that, put that book back up. Let them see that book. Let them see that book. It's Healing Time. Men Hurt Too by Kearny. All right. And so guys, keep it up, Trey. Keep it up. How can they find this? Barnes and Nobles.
So you can find it on my website, all things www.treykearny.com. www.treykearny.com is where you can find me. All social media at Trey Kearny, TrayKearney.
All right. So Dr. Love Jones, who is the author of the book Level Up, he would like to come on your podcast with the 45 men.
Jones, inbox me, please.
Talk about his emotions.
Yep,
so he's my client, and I call him my BSC, my best student ever, because he is our #1 student. Now I don't know, Javon, you got competition because the girls been coming in, they've been rocking out. Dominique, she been smashing it. Taraya been smashing it. Shadira been smashing it. So everybody's been smashing it. But Javon, he's a very special student to me because he's been with me since the beginning of his transformation when he had no idea what was happening, and I love when he shares the story of, he looked at me and said, that's what I want to do. She's who I want to be like. And literally, he's been under my wing since, and he out there, just like his coach, he out there doing events and book signings and all that wonderful stuff. So I think that he would definitely be a great asset to have on your podcast as a man who's not afraid to share what happened to him as a child and things and Javon is very transparent. He doesn't mind the judgment, put it that way. Like, the judgment does not bother him. He's going to tell you the truth of what happened to him, how he was ridiculed, pointed at, and emasculated, undermasculated, and emasculated. He's going to tell everything. So he's definitely a good guy to have on the show. And then I see if we can get the other men who are willing to open up about their emotions, because they need a platform to express. Like, I mean, I know a lot, but I'm not a man, and I don't know everything. I know things about men because I've been taught by men, but
send them my way. I'm here. Send them.
Yes. Okay. All right, guys. So definitely. So guys, we love y'all. So Javon, what I want you to do is make sure you hit up Trey in her inbox and tell her that Takiyah sent you and you're the one that wanted to get on the show. And then she will set it up for you to be on the show. And Coach will definitely be in the building to rock out with Trey for it. So that's awesome. Okay. So anybody else have any other questions? We'll address your other questions on the next show. Okay. So just put them in the comments, or we'll come back and get back to you guys in the comments later when we have time. So go ahead, ask your questions. We'll read through it. I know I didn't read everybody's stuff, but we love you. All right. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please share this live if you have not shared this stream. All right. And then join us maybe next Wednesday, where we're going to be doing conversations, conversations that need to be had. Okay. And all right. So bye. Tell them where they could find you, Trey. That's what we didn't do. We didn't plug you. Your Instagram and all that other wonderful stuff.
At Trey Kearny. All of it. At Trey Kearny.
Okay, there you go. All right, y'all. Deuces. See you next time. Let us know that you love. If you love what we're doing, let us know, and we will definitely bring more of it to you. All right. Have an amazing day, and deuces. And guys, I stop being so hard. Men hurt too. Dag it.